hello, my sweet donuts, my sweetest donuts in my donut basket, my sweet angels, my sweetest subscribers. Guys, hello, hello. Today we're gonna talk about education. Today, that is what we're gonna be talking about. Education. Tatu Mandela once said, it is through education that a daughter of a peasant can be a president, or a son of a peasant can be a president. That is just one quote from his many utterances regarding the cruciality, regarding the importance of education. I'm just quoting only that one utterance. Guys, but wait. We cannot talk about education without me wearing the academic regalia. No, we can't. Let me grab my academic regalia, guys. Let me grab my academic regalia. Hold on. Okay, yeah, we are super sorted now. We are super sorted. Guys, let's get to it. We're going to talk about education. I'm going to be telling you about the serious matters that forced me to be highly educated. I had no choice because of these things I'm going to be mentioning to you. I had no choice but to be very educated. I had no choice but to be highly educated because I was forced by these matters I'm going to be bringing to your attention just to motivate you, just to change a story of a black child for better. Okay, but let's first dance to that. This is one kind of a doctor. Actually, we must sing Gaudia Musikitu. Now we need to get into the gear of things first. Let me put in this academic song for you guys. Let's find this song, guys. Wait. We have to find this academic procession song. Oui. Demia. Demia. Professore. Demia. Professore. This was my mom's favorite song. Okay, let's put the tablet back. Then get to it, guys. Get to it, my angels. Hey, guys, content creation will be the end of us. I'm trying to settle down here. Guys, wait. Let's first have some apple juice. Let's first have some apple juice, guys. It's gonna be a long talk. I chose to be highly educated. That was a very intentional decision that I've made. I just decided that in life, I'm going to be very educated. I will study until the last level of academics. I chose to study up until I obtain the terminal degree, which is PhD. Madliwa family, it's a family that is known for being a family of educated people. That is what we grew up knowing. Based on that, when I looked around to see if what is being said is 100% thorough, 100% correct, let me look around at my family and see which professions are within this family. And then we are being known as a family of educated people. Let me see the designations. I found out that there is no doctor in my family. Yes, we have a chartered accountant within the Madliwa family, but there is no doctor. There's never been one. Actually, let me rephrase that. There is no academic doctor within the family. There is only a medical doctor, but Tamsana Madliwa, who is Dr. Tamsana Madliwa. He's a medical doctor, but when I looked around, there was no PhD holder, there was no academic doctor. So that put such a big interest for me to pursue my PhD. Yes, we have a civil engineer within the Madliwa family, my little brother. We have a chartered accountant within the family, Utatomncinci. Then that's it. Then we have teachers and so on and so forth. So I had to make sure that I add to the legacy of the family when it comes to education. And I did. Thank you to God, thank you to Jesus, and thank you to my ancestors. You know very well I'm a rural girl. So, and you know the motto by now that when we're going to talk about a very highly charged topic, then we're going to have notes and make sure that you are not all over the show. I have a pen here. I have my notepad. So, yeah. So when I'm looking down, I'm looking at the pointers that I must cover so that I'm not all over the show. I was given a nickname from a very young age, as early as age 7 by my dad. The academic giant. I had to live up to that name. There is no way you can be given that name by your own father. Then I don't live up to it. I had no choice. The day Dad gave me that nickname, I had no choice. That's when I decided, as young as I was, that's when I decided in my mind that, no, Khanyo, you have to live up to your name. And I am. I had no choice because of the nickname given to me. My parents took me and my siblings out of the village. That is exactly another factor that made me to study my books like there is no tomorrow coming. Because those were parents of a vision. They had a vision for the fact that they decided to take us out of the village and send us to the best of the best schools in the country, South Africa. Those were parents of a vision. I had to make sure that the vision of my parents does not demolish. I had to make sure that the vision of my parents come to pass. That's why I had to be highly educated. If my parents didn't have a big vision for us, their kids, they would have not taken us out of the village. For the fact that they did that, again, I had no choice but to be highly educated in life. When we were in East London with my little sister at Commercial Park Private School, my mom, every month end, my mom every weekend after the 20th would come and pay the school fees. And then at the end of the month, the 30th, then she would come with dad. Then they would come and visit us on a Saturday in our hostels. We were staying in 2 different hostels with my sister, which were both belonging to the school. But because I was in a higher grade than my sister, few grades than my sister, so we're not staying in the same hostel. She was staying in a hostel of her age group and of a junior grade than I, and I was staying in a hostel of high school fellas. But the hostels were just separated by the main road in Southernwood, East London. And the school was in Vincent. So my mom used to come and pay school fees and bring us amapiko ekwarkwini, wings of a duck. Those big wings, they are big like an arm. You see my arm? This was the size of those wings. Mom would bring us one. They were being sold at Tantungumbela cafeteria in my hometown in Dutwa. Do you know why mom bought us kwarkwinis instead of Kentucky? Instead of chicken licking? Because you will know later the amount of school fees they were paying in that private school. So mom and dad at that specific stage, the only thing they had is the thousands and thousands of me and my sister's school fees. So there was no money extra for the luxury of 5 pieces of Kentucky each person. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Tata. That was a very wise decision. Those kwarkwin, those duck wings, during our time, they were 10 rand each. So mom would buy 2 and only spend 20 rands. Then mom would buy us biscuits, choice assorted, and chips, and few other nice goodies. But one thing for sure, not even on one significant day has my name nor my sister's name been called out by the principal during assembly to step aside. During assembly, the school seniors management, after the prayers, before we are deployed to our classrooms, there would be a list of names that are being called out. People whose parents have not paid the school fees. People who are in arrears. My name, my sister's name, has never been called out during assembly. Not even on one significant day. Our fees were always up to date and paid in advance. Thanks to my mom and dad. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Tata. So, those duck wings, they were very pleasant in our mouths because we knew that even if mom and dad didn't buy us Kentucky this time around, but one thing for sure, one thing for certainty, our parents have paid our expensive school fees in full. Based on that, I had to be highly educated. Mom and dad were our best friends. You can't let your best friend down. I had to be highly educated. I couldn't let people who love me so much, people who love my siblings so much, I could not bring them disappointment. I'm a mafungwashe. I'm a firstborn daughter of my parents. The first daughter that they were blessed with by God and my ancestors, it was me. I knew that the role of a mafungwashe is not a Mickey Mouse role. It's a very significant, big role. One day in life, when I'm old, look, today I'm old. I knew that as a mafungwashe, I had to come up to ensure that one day when my parents are gone, I am executing all the roles that a mafungwashe should do. I had to. And I knew, young as I knew that you can't play a significant role as umafungwashe if in life you don't have the means in terms of monetary to run and do things that mafungwashes do. And again, to have money above many other things, you must be educated. I had no choice but to be educated because I am a mafungwashe. I'm a deputy parent, which I don't really like, but because I was born a mafungwashe, sometimes I have to be a deputy parent. That's why I chose to be highly educated, so that when I'm old, I can execute the roles and the responsibilities of umafungwashe wekhaya seamlessly, with ease, smoothly. Singabantwana bakamem, we were born by a teacher, a high school teacher who produced graduates. Mom was a grade 12 biology teacher for many, many decades in Mtawelanga Senior Secondary School. Mom was also a grade 10 English teacher. So mom produced the lecturers. Mom produced the microbiologists. Products of my mom today, some of them are radiologists. Some of them are scientists. The list is long. There was no choice but to be highly educated so that I don't bring embarrassment to my mother. A high school teacher, a well-known high school teacher, a highly competent high school teacher who produced these kinds of people. And then her own children are not educated. I had to be highly educated so that my mom's efforts are consistent right throughout her products at Mtawelanga, as well as in her household, her biology. Us. See, biology, mama no tata, we are my mom's little babies. So we had to join the crowd of professionals, of highly educated professionals that were products of my mother's brains and teachings. There was no way I was going to humiliate my mother and my dad and see graduates in my village and in neighboring villages being graduates, and I'm not a graduate as umntana kamem. That wasn't going to make sense. That wasn't going to make sense. I had to ensure that I do not bring disappointment to my mother. I had to make sure that my mother is not a laughing stock in the staff rooms of Mtawelanga. My parents lived a very cheap life, very economical life, so that we can get the best of the best education. They sacrificed a lot of things. I told you about them. They were driving vans, Toyota vans. They were driving Toyota Corollas. Those are nice cars, yes. Great brand, Toyota. But there's nothing to write home about those cars. But I know that for a fact that they could afford any car that they want. Those were hard workers. But they didn't because they spared that money and made sure that it's invested in getting their kids highly educated. So based on that, again, I had no choice but to be highly educated. Dad was a chronic lover of academics. Dad was an ambassador of academic excellence. Dad promoted academic excellence. Dad instilled academic excellence passion in the minds of his kids, us, consistently without fail. So I had to make sure that my dad's efforts and my dad's passion and my dad's dream regarding his kids being highly educated does not go in vain. I had to be highly educated. I remember one time when Dad attended my national diploma graduation in Cape Town. Hold on, let me check something quickly. Dad attended my national diploma graduation in Cape Town. And as Dad was sitting there in the crowd of the parents, he was listening when white people's names were being called. Grunewald, Natalie, Kumla, George Mulman, cum laude. Van der Merwe, Pickering, cum laude. Verwoerd, Nathaniel, cum laude. Nomathamsanqa, Sibeko, Madliwa, Nokhanyo. Nqabile umntu, Zondi. Did you see the difference there? Our names are just called plainly. They are not accompanied by cum laude. Dad noticed that. Guys, the reason why I'm laughing like this, the thing is, you guys will have no clue how my father was like. My dad was a promoter of academic excellence. Dad did not accept average. He made sure that he motivates us. Let me fix my head. Consistently. You know? So, Dad easily picked that up, that black people's names. There is no cum laude. And on stage, they explained what is cum laude. You've passed your degree with distinction. You know? Then after the graduation, Dad was very humble. Dad was sweet. Then after the graduation, when we were going to the hall where we're going to be eating with our parents, then Dad will be talking to me. Mafungwas, graduation in Domba. Did what Adam? Good time, amabhulu kwangatsho mna guys elo gama ningandibambisi yayingutata and anuzumthola ndawo ke sano wam utata is sleeping very peacefully in his grave. So uthanda abantwana bamabhulu bona awabo amagama akhatshwa ngucum laude. then lawe bantwana bethu ahamba nje eplane awakhatshwa kwayinto. Yamandlovu mntanam, tell me one thing. Beningekho seklasini eyi-1. No, Vervoort, no Osterhazen, no Van Staden, aba bebebizwa phaa cum laude. Beseklasini eyi-1 tata, benititshwa yilecturer eyi-1 mafungwashe. Ewe tatam, isilabhasi inye nexesha ilecturer eli-investayo kwi-lecturing for that day, the time was equal, Mandlovu, enilifumanayo nala mabhulu. Ewe tata, hayi kaloku mntanam, ayikho rayithi kaloku into uba awena amagama ageceze nje odwa. Mawakhatshwe kaloku nawo ngucum laude. And my mom would be like, Mateselele. Mateselele was my dad's nickname. Mateselele, kaloku abantwana abafani uzophambanisa abantwana bam. Namateselele. The fact is, basi-graduates bonke. Uyayiqonda imiqulu yaseyunivesithi myenam? Hayi kaloku uzophambanisa abantwana bam, uzophambanisa ukhanyo. Mateselele. This is unfair. Umntana ugraduatile, umntana upase kakuhle. Ngoku umntana uzomkhomperisha nabanye. Myenam. Ngozikazi bebetitshwa ngulecturer eyi-1 onokanyo. Ixesha, ii-hours were the same abazilecturishelwayo. Ilecture ime phambi kwabo ebhodini netshokhwe. Isilabhasi iyi-1. Ayikwazi kaloku uba no-Van Staden bapase nge-cum laude. Then abantwana bethu amagama abo ageqeze nje odwa. That was the motivation for me. Did you hear my dad's approach? It was very, very encouraging. Khange utata be-aggressive. Khange utata andifakele i-toxic pressure. But the way he uttered all those statements, they triggered a drive and a much bigger passion in me. I internally made a vow to myself that comes BTech, comes masters, comes PhD. I'm going to show them flames. The rest is history. I graduated my baccalaureate technology degree, which is BTech, in quality engineering with a cum laude. I passed all my 7 subjects with distinction, as well as my BTech research project. Do you know what? Should Dad did not state those utterances during my national diploma graduation, I was still going to be comfortable with getting the 60%. I was going to be comfortable. And by the way, I also got some 50%, guys. Let me not act as if I was only getting the 60s and the 70s. No, 50-something percentages. They are also appearing on my academic record. But my entire degree, it was passed by myself on cum laude. I don't think you want to know the smile of my dad. The day my name was called up there, Baccalaureate Technology degree is awarded to the following individuals. Van der Skeif, Zurich, cum laude. Madliwa, Nokhanyo, cum laude. Yeah! Dad was proud. Dad was proud, guys. I don't want to be emotional. Dad was proud. Yes, he could not scream out loud. Dad was a quiet man. But Dad was super proud. I can imagine Dad inside that aircraft from Cape Town International Airport going to King Palo, East London Airport. I can imagine imincili katata when he was going back home with the photos to our mother. They couldn't both attend our graduations, guys. They made a separation early while we were still young in high school, that when we get to tertiary and we graduate, Dad will attend all my graduations, Mom will attend all my siblings' graduations, and it was like that. So I can imagine when Dad landed at King Palo Airport in East London, driving back to Dutwa, to Zintukwini, to show Mom the photos, to show Mom the technical graduation book with my name in it very clearly. Madliwa Nokhanyo, cum laude, Faculty of Engineering, BTech quality. I can imagine my dad. So, thank you, Tata. Thank you, Ndlovu. That encouragement was effective. I'm a very confident soul. I was born confident. You can't be confident and then I don't do justice to my academics. I had to make sure that I'm highly educated, because I had to make sure that my confidence is coupled by visible achievements. That proves that by visible achievements, that prove that indeed this confidence is intact. Let me repeat that. I had to make sure that I'm educated because my confidence was on maximum 100. So I had to make sure that my life outputs for myself are actually complementing the long existing confidence of years. We were spoiled rotten by our parents. We had to also make them happy. I had to make them happy. I don't know what's wrong with my beret. It's because of the slippery wig. Because they were spoiling us rotten all their lives, I had to also make sure that I spoil them by becoming the academic giant that I am. Commercial private school, we were studying with children of filthy rich people. Abantwana bezinana. And I will mention some of them that I can remember. Osibongile Bana. Their dads were filthy rich. Osibongile Bana. Owning butcheries in Mqala CBD and in town in Mqala. Or Asithandile Villan. Their parents owning supermarkets in Mqala. Or Kunjulwa Bokwe. Their fathers owning over 50 buses that operate between the Transkei and Cape Town. I can go on and on. Sasifunda nabantwana bezinana. And Tina, we're not children of rich people. Based on that, for the fact that I was staying in the same hostels, attending the same school with abantwana bezinana, I had no choice but to make sure that my parents are happy. I had to make sure of that one. We were starting with abantwana bezinana who used to get 5,000 rand pocket monies. You can imagine how much was 5,000 rand pocket money 20 years, 25 years from now. I'm sure it was equivalent to 15,000. And us were getting the 500. I had no choice but to make sure that I'm grateful to my parents for putting me in the best of the best private school in East London. Amongst the kids of the filthy rich. I had to make sure of that one. I had to be highly educated. We lacked nothing. I had to meet them halfway. We never suffered, me and my siblings. So I had to meet my parents halfway and bring them nothing else but joy. When my parents and when my father was putting our suitcases inside the car, taking us to boarding schools with my mother. My homestead is next to the road. Even passers could see that, yeah, there is Tatu Madliwa getting his kids inside the bakkie. I wasn't gonna make my parents a laughing stock in the village. Kuthiwe, you abantwana babebathuthi imini nezolo. Baphelele pha ebomini. There is no way I was gonna allow such a nature of possible humiliation to come upon my parents. Babezohlekwa ezilalini. Uyahlekwa umuntu ezilalini. Nakweyiphi ilali uyahlekwa ezilalini umuntu ozame into yafeyila. Babezohlekwa abazali bami abasihambisa ekuseni early hours of the morning and come back with my mother in the evening when the sun is setting down, because they are coming from afar to drop their kids in various boarding schools around the Eastern Cape province. So I had to make sure that I'm highly educated in life. As early as age 15, Dad taught me how to drive a car. That on its own, that means Dad was actually my destiny helper for my future. That means in Dad's mind, he knew that umntanam one day will own a car, and I have to make sure that vision come to pass. Let's start planting a seed towards the achievement of that vision. I was a teenager, age 15, driving a bakkie in those village roads. Thanks to my dad. Based on that, again, it proves that Dad and Mom wanted only the best for us, their kids, nothing else. They could see cars that we will be driving in future. And Dad had to teach us how to drive cars as early as that age, all of us. You can't let that kind of a parent down. Parents, Mom and Dad, who were striving so hard to make sure that in life we panned out to be great people in society, high achievers, successful. I mean, for the fact that they were working so hard to ensure that happens, I had to meet them halfway and work hard and study my books like there is no tomorrow coming. Because I had to bring joy to my parents. We got big pocket money. We got big monies when we sent and dropped at boarding school. Based on that, I had to be highly educated and not waste my parents' money. We were taken out of the Eastern Cape to the best tertiary, not to the best, to one of the best tertiary institutions in South Africa, Cape Technikon. There is universities and technikons in Eastern Cape. There is even a technikon that is less than 20 minutes drive from my hometown, Dujo. Ebika, on the road to Butterworth. They call it Walter Sisulu University now. It was called a border technikon, Butterworth branch. They could have easily sent us there. There was UNITRA, 80 kilometers from my hometown, University of Transkei, where my mom studied, in Umtata. They could have chosen UNITRA for us. There is Port Elizabeth Technikon. There was Port Elizabeth Technikon in Port Elizabeth. There was University of Port Elizabeth. I can go on and on. There was Border Technikon in East London. They could have chosen one of those institutions. But they decided to take us very far away from home so that we can go and mingle with other cultures from various places in the whole of the country. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Tata, in heaven. I had to meet them halfway and not bring them shame. There was a bus called Mavumisa in my hometown, very cheap bus, very, very cheap bus. That was from my hometown, and it used to drive between my hometown and other Transkei small towns like Ofimvaba, etc., to Cape Town. My parents said, sorry, we will never put our kids in that bus. When they go back to Cape Town, back to Technicon, we shall book Greyhound, Intercape, Translux, and so on and so forth for them. Based on that, I had to be highly educated. There is no way my parents were investing so much love in us, then I bring them shame. I had to be highly educated in life. Commercial Park Private School was the most expensive private school in East London. Commercial Park Private School was the most expensive private school. It was actually more expensive than multiracial schools. Let's not even go there. It was a private school, for heaven's sake. We were two. Commercial Park Private School fees were plus minus 50,000, including hostel, and we were two. So per year, mom and dad were paying plus minus 100,000. I had to be highly educated. I had to be highly educated. I had to. There was no way I was not gonna be. I had to be highly educated. There is no way that I would play with such big lump sums of money of my parents. There is no way under the clouds I was gonna do that. There was no option but to be extremely and highly educated in life. And I told you, we were never called out from assembly being told that our fees are in arrears. They used to pay those plus minus 100,000 lump sums on time. Mom and dad could have easily taken us to Clarendon Girls High in East London. Cambridge High in East London. Those were also great multiracial schools. But mom and dad said, we want the best for our children. They must go to private school. Yes, multiracial schools, they are good. They are great. They are on par. They are great. But we are taking our kids to a private school. The first time I ate pizza, the first time I ate ribs, the first time I ate burgers was in boarding school. At Queenstown Girls High and at Commercial Park Private School. Maybe I'm exaggerating by burgers, but the first time I ate proper burgers was in East London, in the hostel. That's why the fees were so expensive. We were eating restaurant food, fish and chips, grilled steak and chips and salad. That is cooked and prepared by our matrons and their assistants. We had a matron called Mahumsha, a white lady. One day, I will also record a story about our experience with Mahumsha in our hostel. That was our matron. Mahumsha, we gave her the name Mahumsha. When I joined the school, that name was already existing. So, I don't know where did it originate from. Malva pudding, seafood, the mussels, the prawns, we were eating them at hostel. There was no way umama notata babenoki papa ne beef stew ekhaya ezilalini. Then I'm swimming, eating luxurious food. Then I don't study my books. There was no way. I had to be highly educated so that I do not bring shame to my parents. Ndisitya kamnandi kangaka. Nomntana sekhaya. We were constantly motivated by both our parents. So there was no way we were just going to ignore that motivation and let it come inside here and get out of here. It had to get inside of here and dwell and sit in us so that we keep on going when it comes to our books with my siblings. Mom's prayers, there is no way I was going to make them to go in vain. Dad's words of blessings on top of our heads. Uba mntanam, you are an academic giant. Mntanam, you will never suffer in life as long as you breathe. We had to make sure that those words of blessings and those many prayers, midnight prayers of my mom, morning prayers of my mom, and my dad actually, we had to make sure that indeed those prayers manifest on us in life, and they did. The villagers call my home a university. Where have you ever seen a university without a doctor? I had to be a doctor. I had to. For the legacy of my home. For the legacy of my family, the Madlwa family at large. Your home is being called a university, but there is no doctor out of that university. I had to be a doctor. On top of me doing my doctorate so that I add new body of knowledge on the existing body of knowledge in the country, in the world. On top of that motive, I had to also make sure that because my home is called a university, there must be a doctor. Let's take a break, guys. We're almost there. Let me take some breather. I love ice cold apple juice, guys. It's very nice and healthy. We were kids of shopkeepers. Abantwana basevenkileni. Remember my parents, I told you about their shop, which they built in year 1992 as their second income generator on top of their formal careers at Sportnet and Mtawelanga High School. They also had that shop. So during school holidays, we had to release Ann Makolo. My parents had to release Ann Makolo and so that she goes on leave, so that she can travel to Cape Town to visit his two kids. So when Ann Makolo was on leave, our parents mandated us to go sell in the shop. So during school holidays, we were working with my little sister. We used to wake up. My mom used to wake us up at 5:30 and boil nice hot water for us, sihlambe. And then 6:30, we must be at the shop sweeping. Then 7:30, we officially open the door and the burglar of the shop and sit behind the counter and sell things to the villagers from our village and other surrounding villages and pass buyers. And my mom used to bring us breakfast to the shop. You can't sell things and count money of such a big shop that was serving so many villages if you are not educated. We had to be educated with my little sister. We had to be smart as early as that age. We're teenagers, for heaven's sake. And at the end of the day, in the evenings, at 7, when we closed the shop, we were accounting for every little cent that is short. Yes, it used to happen sometimes, but that was very rarely. You find that 10 rand, the till is short of 10 rand. It was not even a till, it was a trunk. It's short of 10 rand or whatever money. Small mistakes, And we had to account. Our parents did not laugh with us. They needed answers. And your pocket money is going to be decreased by that amount that was short on that day. So at that young age, our parents made sure that our minds are bright, our minds are polished. For the fact that they did that, I had to be highly educated in life. You can't count money of a supermarket of such a big shop. That shop looked like a supermarket. It was huge. You can't count that money if you are not very smart here. Our classmates at Cape Technicon used to tease us black people. You find that the lecture is starting. You are entering the class carrying your big bag. Then the white boys would be sitting in one group at a corner somewhere within the lecture hall. Then they would say, Auntie, Daddy, and start laughing. So they saw us, potential engineers, as aunties. I made sure that I'm not their father and their mother's domestic helper, because that's what they see in us. But I don't even want to waste time on this video. Even that, I didn't let it go. I used to fight for myself. I used to respond to their rude utterances. I used to put them in order, and they would be in order. Second last point, I'm not a very patient person. That's my weakness that I'm still working on this day. I'm not a very patient person. And I have zero tolerance for hogwash. Based on that, I had to be very highly educated, because any matter that I would come across in life that annoys me, that irritates me, I have to walk away from it. Whether it's a career, oh, but hell no. I would never walk away from my career. I would never resign without another better job. There is no way under the sun I would do that. That's not even an option. There is no way. So with the exception of the career, yes, I can stay and defend myself. But other things, I just walk away from nonsense. I walk away from annoying situations. So you can imagine, I had to be independent, very independent in life, so that I don't rely on anyone financially, so that I cannot tolerate nonsense that is being brought to my life. And now I must suffer under that nonsense because I'm relying on another person. Because of that character, because of that weakness of mine, impatience. I had to make sure that I'm extremely independent in life. And I knew without any doubt that for me to be 100% independent, I have to be highly educated in life, so that in life I'm on a higher salary scale, and I am. I identified my impatience, weakness, and I capitalized on it to push myself towards achieving my big dreams. That will lead me to making more money. There was no way I would be on a higher salary scale if I was not highly educated. I had to be highly educated. I knew I have to be independent. And for me to be independent, I need to work very hard and be highly educated. There was no other choice. There was a lecturer we done. I've even put my notepad aside. Let me even position myself. We done. Last point. There was a lecturer at Cape Technicon of the other color. La gama belibizwa ngutata ngela xesha le cum laude. Yeah. He used to come to our lecture halls in shorts. You know those farm shorts? Those you know those shorts that the farmers are wearing, those khaki shorts? He was a farmer and also a lecturer, full-time lecturer and part-time farmer, because obviously I'm sure his employees and his family, his kids were running the farm. So you can imagine what we went through. regarding describing this guy because I don't want to sound like a racist or a tribalist, but you should know, based on those little few descriptions I've given you, you should know the ill treatment we suffered in class, especially us of this color. You see? Okay, no, let me stop there with regards to the description. But I will quote him verbatim. There is 2 toxic statements that he has said above many other toxic, rotten statements that he said. I'm just extracting these 2. When we were arriving for the very first time in class, in January, towards the end of January, when we are attending class for the first time, you find that today is the 20th of January, and you've got your timetable, you've registered, you've settled in a dress, and your parents are gone back to the village. At least you are settled now in tertiary. You are a fresher, you are a first year. Can you imagine being far away from home for the very first time? My hometown is more than 1,000 kilometers away from Cape Town. Cape Town is far. When I used to stay in Cape Town and work in Cape Town, me and my parents, me and my mother, me and my father, if they they decide to come up with me in Cape Town, I would drive 19 hours from Dutywas village to Cape Town. I would leave the village at 5 with my parent. Mom mostly. Dad didn't like city life, but mom used to like coming on holidays, Yeah. And dad allowed her as long as it was just within the 1 month. We used to leave the village with mom at 5 a.m. and we arrive in Cape Town run up at 11 at night. You can do the calculations of the hours. And sometimes you find that I'm faster in driving. We leave the village at 6. We are parking in my house in Cape Town at 9 o'clock at night. Cape Town was far. Picture being so far away from home with no support. Your first day within a lecture hall, because in school we were in classrooms, not lecture theaters, big ones. Then this time it was early January, we are attending mechanics class. People were doing mechanical engineering, operations engineering, industrial engineering, production management. Remember, first year, first semester, we were all attending some few subjects together. The engineering mechanics lecturer. I even forgot his name, even if I wanted to mention his name. I forgot the name of that old man. I forgot him. But you know him very well. He was teaching us engineering mechanics 1. So remember on our first day, I remember very well. This guy entered the classroom and we were full. That lecture hall was packed. I think we were over 400. Then he greeted us, Goeiemorgen. And then he made sure that the greeting is in Afrikaans, but he made sure that the message is in English so that we all get it. He did this looking at us. Then he said, only 2 people amongst all of you will graduate and finish this engineering national diploma. Engineering is not for Popeyes. Only 2 of you will graduate as engineers. I was so irritated. And my parents only left yesterday to drive back to my hometown. I was so annoyed. I was so small. I was so tiny. For heaven's sake, I was 17 years old or 18 years old. I just stood in front of the entire class. I was sitting at the front row throughout my whole educational life, throughout my whole school life, be it primary, be it crash, be it, okay, I'm exaggerating, I don't remember crash, be it high school, be it university. I used to sit on the front row throughout my life. Even at work, when we go on trainings and workshops, I'm in the front row. So I stood up and looked at the back of the class. I said, my classmates, I do not know about you guys, but the lecturer here has boldly and confidently mentioned that only 2 of us will graduate in this course few years from now. I don't know about you guys, but if there is 2 people who will be graduating, be rest assured, Madluano Kanyo is one of them. There is 2 people are graduating. I don't know this one, but one thing I know, I'm one of the 2. And I was. No, not only 2 people graduated. During my graduation, one thing I know, in my course we were 7. I'm not talking about engineering at large. I'm talking about operations engineering. It was 7 of us. I don't remember. It was only George Mulman, Lipekula Maheta. But one thing I know I was the only girl in that 7. In that year, and the graduation was in April. One thing I know, we were 7. There is no way I can forget that, because I was talking to my parents about it all the time, that we were cast from the word go, that only 2 will graduate. And that case was nil and void. It was useless because we were 7. But I was the only girl graduating amongst 6 guys. There was no way I was not going to be highly educated. The day that case was put and brought to our attention, that day, I made a vow. I said, no, Kanyo, study your books like there is no tomorrow. Be amongst the 2 that will be graduating. And I was among the 7. So I even rejected cases of cases that are coming from people of the other color. Even if they were coming from people of my color, I rejected those cases. I'm a child of God. I'm a child of my ancestors. I'm a spiritual child, spiritual gifted child. There was no way I was gonna allow that case to sit on top of my head. Look today what is sitting on top of my head. Exactly. It's not a case, it's a PhD Barrett, terminal degree Barrett, NQF level Barrett. So I was very arrogant with rejecting that case. My sweet angels, we are done. We are done. We are done. So those are the serious matters, the serious circumstances that pushed me to be where I am today. Those are the circumstances that made me to be wearing my red gown today. Thanks to those circumstances, thanks to those matters, I had to be highly educated. I almost, guys, forgot the other second thing, the other second utterances, the second utterance of that lecturer, the one I was talking to you about, who cursed us. Then now, during the course of the year, in class, whilst he's teaching us, he would say, guys, he would come inside the lecture hall, then goes to the board and draws a cylinder or something, or a tank, or an engine or something. Then he would ask, what is the size of this diameter? Then I remember one time, some classmate lifted up his hand, a black guy, a black student, and we're all listening. Then this guy is like, it's the size of that diameter, say it's 15 millimeters. Then this guy went, 15 millimeters, your father's a heart. Uthuka umntu ngomzali engakwenzanga nto. Some of us did Afrikaans all our life until grade 12. We knew what is vader. What does vader mean? Yes, we didn't know what does gat mean, but hello, you can hear that's a swear word. That word is strong even from the pronunciation. Gat, even the mouth you could see. What is this? You can see that utuka umzali womntana abantu. I had to be highly educated, guys. I had to be highly educated so that in life I never ever allow myself to be treated in that manner. Never ever. I almost forgot to say that, guys. So guess what? I already closed my tripod, folded it down, and I already switched off my phone. But I'm like, no, man. I told my viewers that this guy did two things, the curse, but I never mentioned this one. So you can imagine being sown by your parents, by a stranger. Woo! Cape Technicon, you were the best, but we got those degrees using so much resilient strength. Bye! My sweet angels, I hope you will enjoy this video. Please do not forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and please do not skip the ads. I love you guys so much, my sweet donuts, my sweetest donuts in my donut basket. I love you so much, guys. To my subscribers, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah, thank you, thank you. You guys are so sweet. Tata. My number one fan, no Tata. We're gonna meet, girl, very soon. That one is a vow. Mwah, mwah. Enjoy, guys. Enjoy yourselves. Please, 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 please. Do not forget to subscribe. Ndiyalithanda kakhulu. Ciao. Mwah.